Okay, once again I'm teacher Goodluck from Edukea Company, and I'm here to proceed with our session in the subject of chemistry, Form 1. Now today we move on another part which is called the heat sources and the frame. Heat sources and the frame, which are used in the laboratory and used to conduct various activities in the They are used to conduct various activities in the subject of chemistry and in the science in general. Now, let us look. In this topic, we will study sources of frame. We will study heat and source, heat and frame. In this topic, we are going to look the heat and frame. Now let us start with heat. What is heat? Heat, we say that heat by definition is the condition of being hot. When we look at the definition of heat, this means that this is the condition of being hot. Heat is the condition of being hot. Now let us look at what are the sources of heat. What are the sources of heat? Heat can be heat can be obtained in two ways: natural sources of heat and the artificial source of heat. Now, as I told you that heat, this is the condition of being hot or situation of being hot of the substance, different substance. Now, what are the sources of heat? We look for the source of heat. We have two types of sources of heat. The first one is natural source of heat, and the other one it is artificial source of heat. Now we are going to manipulate all of them. We are starting with the natural source of heat, and we are going to look what is natural source of heat and etc. Now let us move and look here. Natural source of heat. Natural source of heat. Natural source of heat, by definition, it is defined as natural source of heat is the kind of heat in which cannot made by human being. This means that this is the source of heat which are not made by human being. For instance, or for example of that heat, it is heat from the sun. Heat from the sun, because we know that sun, it can heat something, because we say that heat, it is the condition of being hot, or heat is the situation of being hot. Now even the sun, it is the source of heat because it causes some substance or some materials to be hot. So now let us look on the definition of artificial source of heat. Artificial source of heat, by definition, artificial source of heat is the kind of heat in which made by human being. Now in this artificial source of heat, this is made by human being. This is the source of heat which are made by human being. For example, heat from the spirit lamp. Also we have kerosene stove, we have Bunsen burner and the gas stove. All these are the source of heat, but this source of heat, they are made by man, they are made by human being. And that is the difference between the natural source of heat and the artificial source of heat. Natural source of heat is not made by human being, but when you come to artificial source of heat, it is made by human being. You have to know that heat is the energy. Heat is the energy. We said that heat is the condition of being hot. Now, the situation to being hot, it is an energy. Let us continue. All chemical processes, all reaction, whether combination or decomposition, involve heat energy. Now, in every chemical reaction, any chemical reaction or chemical process, which can involve the composition or decomposition of matters. Now that composition or that decomposition of matter, they are involving the heat and the energy of that, the energy which can cause that reaction to take place, either combination or decomposition, composition or decomposition of anything or any substance. Now, heat sources in the laboratory. Let us go, as we saw that heat, it is a energy. Now let us look the heat source in the laboratory, because we are studying this subtopic of laboratory. Now let us look heat sources in the laboratory. There are various heat sources which are used in the laboratory. Heat sources in the laboratory. In the laboratory is the different sources. There is the different sources of heat which can be used in the chemistry, laboratory for various purposes. Chemistry laboratory for various purposes. For example, we have here an example for heat sources, and this heat, it is used in the chemistry laboratory for different purposes like heating substance, etc. Now let us look various purposes which are done by the heat or energy in the chemistry laboratory or in the laboratory. Now let us go down here and see the examples of yes, laboratory for various purposes. For example, the first one is, this is the source of heat, spirit lamp. Another one is kerosene stove. This is the stove which is using kerosene as a source of that heat or that energy. Also we have Bunsen burner, and the last we have gas stove. Now when we talk about this spirit lamp, this is using the spirit as the source of heat. Also in kerosene stove, this is the stove which is using the kerosene, liquid of kerosene as a fuel in this stove, so that it can produce heat and energy. And also in Bunsen burner, this is mostly using the gas. It is mostly used in the laboratory, which it is support the source of heat. Also we have gas stove. These are the stoves which they are using gas as the source of power or the source of energy in the laboratory. Now let us come to another thing which is involved in heat, and it is very important, which is we are talking about flame. Now what is flame by definition? Flame by definition, the word flame by definition, flame is a zone of burning gases that produces heat and light. Now the meaning of flame, it is a zone of burning gases that produces heat and light. It is the visible. Now this is the zone. This flame is the zone of burning. That's why here finally we say that this flame, it is the visible. You can see it. Now it is the visible growing part of a fire. This flame, it is the visible growing part of the fire, because when you introduce the heat, you can see the fire, maybe something like fire, it is coming out. Now in that fire you can see the zones of that material which you are burning, and this zone are the zone which you can see. They are visible part of fire, in the certain source of power. Now you can see the diagram of flame. This is the diagram of a flame and how it is looks like, because we have said that this, it is visible, so it is like this. Something to note now. Something to note, we say that flame formed due to burning of fuel. Flame is formed due to burning of fuel. And which fuel? Good example of the fuel we saw there, we have kerosene, stove. Now they use the fuel which is kerosene. Now through that burning of that kerosene, of that fuel, it caused something called a flame. And that flame, it is the zone of burning that you can see in the fire. Now the color and the temperature of flame depends on the type of fuel burning and the source of the flame. Now in this flame, there is different colors and temperature. There is a different color and temperature of that heat or that fire. Now the color and the temperature of that fire, it depends on the type of fuel burning and the source of that flame. Example, there is difference between the source which is caused by wood and the source which is caused by fuel like petrol. So the fire of petrol and the fire of wood, it is two things different. Also the fire of kerosene, and when you compare with the fire of petrol, they are different because their source of energy, they are different, and also that is the different type of fuel. So this flame, it is appearing according to the type of flame, to the type of fuel you use to produce your heat or your fire. Now in order flame to happen, the component of fire triangle should be so that we can get this. In order we can get this flame, there is components of fire which they must be there, and this is a triangle of components of fire. The first one, there should be complete, which is fuel. There must be fuel, there must be oxygen, and there must be heat. If you combine these three things, you have all these three things and you combine together, this is how you can come to get something called flame. But otherwise, if there is no fuel, there is no flame. If there is no oxygen, there is no flame. And also if there is no heat, there is no flame, because the flame is coming as a product of combination of these three things, that fuel, oxygen, and heat. After combining together, they come to form a flame. Now we have types of flame. There are two main types of flame. And this flame, they are different, as I told you, that they are different according to the fuel you use. Now we have two types of flame, which are, the first one is luminous flame. And the other one is called non-luminous flame. So we have luminous flame and also we have non-luminous flame. Now we start one by another looking what is luminous flame and what is non-luminous flame, which will help us to identify when we are using these burners and when we are using this flame, we are using fire, we can determine this is luminous flame or non-luminous flame. Now let us move on and start with the first one, which is luminous flame. Now by definition, what is luminous flame? Luminous flame is the flame with yellow color, produces soot and does not give more heat. Can you see? Luminous flame, we say that this is the flame with yellow color. It has yellow color, and also it produces soot and does not give more heat. These are the features of what? Luminous flame. It is produced when the oxygen supply is usually not enough to complete burn up the fuel. As I told that there are three components which they made up a frame. We have the fuel, we have the oxygen, and also we have the heat. Now, if there is small amount of fuel, small amount of what? Of fuel, I mean, or of gas, oxygen gas. The flame which will be produced there will be luminous flame, which will have the following character, that the flame color will be yellow, and also the flame will produce soot and also will not give more heat. Now it is produced when the oxygen supply is usually not enough to complete the burn of the fuel, because that fuel will not be burned completely, and through that will come to give us the outcome of soot when that flame is made, and also the outcome of yellow color. Now here we have the diagram that's showing the luminous flame. That's showing the luminous flame, and this is the diagram of luminous flame. Luminous flame, looks like this, and the first we have something here we labeled. We have thin outer zone. That one, it is the thin outer zone of the luminous flame. Also we have luminous and yellow zone. As we saw there, that the luminous flame, it is composed with yellow color, and also it produces soot and does not give more heat. And another one, it is zone of unburnt gas. Zone of unburnt gas. Why zone of unburnt gas? Because in this luminous flame, we saw that the oxygen gas, it is few. So if it is few, does not support the completely burn of the fuel, which they produce the zone of unburnt gas. So we have unburnt gas. Also we have blue or green diagram of luminous flame. Now we come to look to the parts of luminous flame. Parts of luminous flame. It consists of 4 parts. Includes, now we say that luminous flame, it has 4 parts. It consists of 4 parts. Now we are going to look one after another. The first part, this is called the thin outer zone. Thin outer zone, and thin outer zone we see there. Thin outer zone, it is outside there. Then another one, it is luminous and yellow zone. Luminous and yellow zone. This is the second from outside there. That is the second zone, which is yellow in color. And the third one, it is zone of unburnt gas. Zone of unburnt gas, it is there at the first or the middle of the whole flame. We can see there. We can see there the zone of unburnt gas. And I told you that this is because the fuel is not burnt completely. And why the fuel does not burn completely, it is because there is the increase, or there is lower amount of oxygen gas which supports the burning or heating process. And the fourth one, it is called the blue or green zone. It is called the blue or green zone. This blue or green zone, it's found at the outside of the frame, and it is downward there. You can see there is where the blue or green zone it is found. Now as we saw that in this luminous frame, the luminous flame, it produces soot. Now there is the question, why produce soot? Why luminous frame produces soot? It produces soot because oxygen supplied is not enough to completely burn up the fuel. Because in order to get the flame, good flame, there must be three components, which is fuel, you must have oxygen, and you must have heat. Now if there is fewness of oxygen, it means that this fuel will not be burned completely. Now if the fuel will not be burned completely, means that you can there it's where now you get the soot, you get the sound like soot, which is not good. I think we answered the question. And that is luminous frame, because there is luminous frame and there is non-luminous frame. Now let us go direct and look what is non-luminous frame. Non-luminous frame, by definition, we can give the definition of non-luminous frame. Non-luminous frame, by definition, we say that is the frame with blue color does not produce soot and give more heat. This is vice versa of luminous frame. Non-luminous frame, it is the vice versa of luminous frame, because we said that luminous frame, first of all, luminous frame, it is yellow in color, but when we come in this non-luminous flame, it is blue in color, and it does not produce soot, while the luminous frame it produce soot. And also this, it gives more heat. It produces when the oxygen supply is usually enough to completely burn the fuel. Now this, we get non-luminous frame when or where there is the plant oxygen, which will help to burn that fuel in complete way, will burn that fuel completely. So after burning that fuel completely is where now you get non-luminous frame. Non-luminous flame, which is catalyzed by blue color, which is catalyzed by no soot produced, which is catalyzed by high amount, or it gives more heat. Now this is diagram of non-luminous frame. Here we have the diagram of non-luminous frame. The diagram of non-luminous frame, here we have the first one is pale purple blue out zone. The out zone will be purple like color, blue zone, outer blue zone. So it will be having two. Blue color is like blue color or purple outer zone. This is the outer zone. And the second zone, it is blue green middle zone. Blue green middle zone. It's like it's going to blue or it's going to green. So we call it blue green middle zone. And the other one we call colorless inner zone. Colorless inner zone. Why this is the colorless? Because there is enough oxygen which help to burn that fuel completely, different with that of luminous flame. The luminous flame, because there is no enough oxygen to burn that, to assist to burn that fuel. Now you can see that you are producing there the color, like the zone of gases there at the middle. But in this we produce colorless inner zone. Although also we have the parts of non-luminous flame, which it consists 3 parts include. Even in this non-luminous flame we have the parts of this non-luminous flame. Parts, now it consists 3 parts. We have 3 parts in of non-luminous flame. These parts include the following. The first one, it is colorless inner zone. Colorless inner zone, this one here. See, we can see there, that one is the colorless inner zone. Colorless inner zone. And the another one, it is blue-green middle zone. Blue-green middle zone, this one. This one, it is called blue-green middle zone. And the the last one is purple blue zone. Purple blue zone, it is that one. That one. This is what you call the purple blue zone. And these 3 components or 3 parts, they come to form the non-luminous flame. And just reminding you that non-luminous flame, it is different from luminous flame. Luminous flame, it has soot, it has soot, and it has also the yellow zone, and it does not produce more heat. But when you come to non-luminous flame, it produces more heat. Also, it has blue zone. Also, it is the oxygen is burning the fuel completely. Now, let us go on and look on the difference between luminous flame and non-luminous flame. There is difference between luminous flame and non-luminous flame. Okay, now we come to luminous flame, and then after we are looking the non-luminous flame. Now let us see the difference between the luminous flame and non-luminous flame. Luminous flame, it is yellow in color. So luminous flame, it is yellow in color. Why? Non-luminous flame, it is blue in color. That is the first difference between these 2 flames. The luminous flame, it is yellow in color, while the non-luminous flame, it is blue in color. And also, this luminous flame, it produces soot. It produces soot. Why? Because there's no more oxygen which can support the burning of the fuel. But when we come to non-luminous flame, non-luminous flame does not produce soot. Why? Because there is the plenty of oxygen which it is supporting the burning of fuel completely, and that results to no soot produced there. And also in luminous flame, it produces less heat. Luminous flame, it produces less heat. But when we come to non-luminous flame, it produces more heat. Non-luminous flame, it produces more heat. Also, luminous flame has, okay, yes, here we have some questions according to our session. Now let us look this question. The first question is, what is heat? What is heat? You just define the term heat. Then what is flame? You define the term flame. Then mention 2 types of flame. You mention there the types of flame. There another one question, which is last one, say what are the difference between luminous and non-luminous flame. Thank you.